Good morning, America. I'm here with a good longtime friend of mine, Parrish, another tattoo man from Jacksonville. We're both pretty known in Jacksonville for slinging ink. That's what I do for a living. This is how he feeds his kids. And everything that you guys see me talking about, all these new videos with the political goon in it, I've been talking about this for years and talking and talking and talking. And he'll tell you, I've talked until he's sick and green in the face, man. I've talked about everything I've said so many times. And I'm getting so much action with this outfit and what I'm saying that I have to continue. So now, content is content. So, Parrish, how long have we known each other?
For a while, for a long time.
Some years. Some years.
So we known each other before we actually even met each other.
Yeah. We were following each other because we're both artists and we're both very known. But I've asked the same questions over and over and over again. Why are so many people okay with giving Black Americans freedoms and equalities away to non-Americans before we apply them to Black Americans first? And I can't get an answer. I get a lot of support. I get a lot of people saying, yeah, hell yeah, stand up. But I'm not getting a whole lot of people to like and share my stuff. So the more content I make, the more I get out there and the more interviews I do. So, all this time, Parrish, I've been thinking about you. I couldn't wait to get over here and show you this new ensemble. And look, man, I got some cards for you. Some political goons. Check me out if you like, share my content.
Who made these for you?
I got a chick, Ashley. She's the one that started all this stuff. Man, can you believe it? And on my Instagram, 26 days, I've got one video with almost 200,000 views on it.
You know what you gotta get?
What's that?
A stamp for your video with this on it.
I don't know how to do that. I need as much help as I can with as much ideas as possible. And the more people get into it, when the money comes, if money comes, and remember, I'm not doing this for money. I am not doing this for money. I'm putting my own cash into this to do this. I'm not looking for money. But if this takes over and then I start doing this like a job, I got a family I got to support. So if I can save this country billions of tax dollars by ending the war on drugs, I think somebody owes me millions. But as it is right now, well, hold on now. If I could put billions of tax dollars on this table, shouldn't I get a little piece? I mean, it's my ideas. I can end the war on drugs.
It's only right.
Yeah, I got a family I have to take care of. But as it is, I can't make a better future for mine without making one for yours. I've said that a million times.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. And vice versa. The only way that we can overthrow this tyrannical government is if we the people get pissed, come together and stand together. Now, I'm not talking about a takeover. Let's just hold the people accountable. Parrish, how old are you, man?
35.
35 out of 35 years. Now, you might not have a problem with police brutality as a person individually, but hasn't police brutality been a topic of discussion for the Black community your entire life? It's been a problem, hasn't it? Yeah.
To be honest, I always tell you, it's never a time I sat in my house and I heard my people talk about, this is some things that's been coming up, 2000s, I never sat in my house and heard somebody talk about police brutality. I never heard.
Well, but it's still across this country for Black Americans, all across this country, it's a huge topic of discussion. You can't get on social media without reading about it, without videos, just because you or your people haven't gone through anything. You know what I mean? As far as police brutality. I've been beaten by the police. Look at this. That's because of police when I was a kid.
I mean, I believe about police because
it's been a problem. It's an issue all across this country.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Just not you personally. You've never been
I'm not a
hey, you N-word by the police.
Yeah.
Well,
but
in general, it's been an issue for Black America across this country your whole life.
Right.
For your parents' time too, and your grandparents' time. For generations, it's been a problem. What about the unjust justice system? You know how if you commit a crime and I commit that same crime, you're going to go to jail for longer than me?
Right.
Because of the unjust justice system.
Yeah,
some people will say it's my white privilege, but if we take all colored people out of America and I commit these same crimes, I'm still going to go to prison. No privilege there. But because you're Black in the unjust justice system.
You take what?
If you take all the colored people out of America and I still commit these crimes, I'm still going to go to prison. No privilege there at all. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not my privilege to do less time, it's your unjust justice system, right? Because you're black.
When you say colored people, do you mean just black
everybody.
people?
No, if you ain't white,
you know black people don't like to get called colored people.
No, I mean everybody that's not white. If everybody who's not white was to leave America and it's just us white people here,
yeah,
and I commit these same crimes, I'm still gonna go to prison for the same amount of time. So there is no privilege. It is an unjust justice system that you fall under, and I'm mad about that, and I want to change that because we need a justice system. You're an American, right?
Right.
That's all that fucking matters. That's all that matters.
That's all that should matter.
And for wait. So your parents' time, they had an unjust justice. It's for generations. The unjust justice system has been a problem, hasn't it?
Right.
I agree. And I want to do something about that. That unjust justice system.
Well, what you think? What you think yourself you could do personally?
Well, first off, how about we let's call out the people who created this entire system built on racism. Let's point the fingers at the career politicians who got rich on a tax-paid salary, putting laws in place designed to keep black people down, and hold them accountable for the bullshit they created. The generations of all this bullshit that's happened, let's make them accountable. And they're easy to fucking point out. They're the ones that have been doing this shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you go to jail, who's the only person in the courtroom who's gathered all the evidence against you, guilty or not, whether he's committed a crime or not?
The judge.
No. Who gathers the evidence and presents it to the judge and to the courts with hopes to sending you to prison? Who is that?
The state.
The prosecutor.
Yeah.
The prosecutor is the enforcer of the laws designed to keep you down, right?
Right.
Why the fuck should I vote for those assholes? Why should I vote for them, my man? Why should I support them and give them my ballot? I shouldn't, should I? I should not vote for the same elite government officials you've been complaining about for generations. Why would I do that? That's a stupid thing to do, isn't it? That's a stupid thing to do. Vote for the elite government officials who spent generations creating this entire system.
Do you think votes really matter?
Yes. Do you really? Imagine if you were a member of the elite government officials who spent generations creating this whole system built on racism. Imagine if you were part of those people. What would you do and what would you say to stop the only person who's not a member of your group of people who did this shit in the first place to stand up and go against you and your people? What would you do to stop that only person? You'd do and say anything, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would do and say anything to stop the only person interrupting what you've been doing for generations. That's crazy. Sounds like the last 9 years. Isn't it weird how the same elite government officials who spent generations creating this entire system built on racism has convinced half this country that the only person who's not a member of the elite government officials who put laws in place to keep you down for generations is the problem. He was president for 4 years, then he wasn't for 4 years, and then he has been for 1 year. We're going to blame generations of government racism on 5 years of political involvement? That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. Now, I'm not saying he's the guy. He's definitely not the one to unite us. He's not the one. There's too much controversy around his name for me to believe he's going to unite Americans and come together.
Yeah.
But he showed me that you do not have to be an elite government officials to stand up and go against those assholes.
Right.
Because why should I support the same assholes who created this system in the first place? Why? That's a real ass question, isn't it? Why should I vote for those? Why are so many people voting for them?
So what options would you have if you're not gonna vote for them? What you gonna try to vote for somebody who
Hey, listen, man. I believe that if men like me and men like you can stand together and go to Washington and say, hey, you haven't provided any solutions. So here we have solutions. How long have I been talking about ending the war on drugs?
A long time.
And you can't show me why we can't do this. You've tried to give excuses, but when
tell them your way of ending the war on drugs. Let them know.
You down to go through this again?
Let them know.
Let's get you on this picture.
Let them know.
All right. We're going to end the war. This is how we end the war on drugs. First and foremost, we have to acknowledge that the government does not make money. Parrish, you're the government. You're Uncle Sam, okay? You are the head motherfucker in charge. You are the boss, right? You're the puppet master of the presidents. You know, you pay people to stop drugs from coming into this country, don't you? You pay the entire Border Patrol to stop drugs, right?
Right.
Some of them take drug money payouts to let the drugs come through their section, don't they?
Right.
Do they pay taxes on that drug money they received?
No.
So now the drugs are here in America, boss man, and who gave you any money? No one.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe in like the 70s and 80s that the government dropped, you know what I'm saying?
You ever seen that movie
Cocaine-
Blow? You ever seen that movie Blow?
Yeah.
All right.
But it's been a long time.
Yeah,
since I watched
but the bottom line is he supplied so much cocaine and he was not a government agent. This is what's weird.
That's a movie though.
Yo, but check this out. Okay, let's talk real life.
Yeah.
I know that we both can go and post outside any random dope boy's house. We know where I know what trap houses are. I know you do too. Let's go watch, okay? They're gonna sell dope all day long, ain't they? Eventually they're gonna run out, right? And they have to go re-up. Are they gonna go to a judge to get their dope? Are they
No,
gonna go to
of course not.
are they gonna go to a border patrol agent? Military personnel?
Possibly.
Most likely not.
Possibly though.
There's sometimes because
Yeah.
boss man, remember
Possibly.
you pay a whole entire organization to stop the drugs, and some of them take drug money payouts to let the drugs come through their section. If we catch them, don't we send them to prison?
Right.
That's why we have border patrol agents in prison for dealing drugs. This is why we have FBI agents in prison for dealing drugs. This is why we have police officers in prison for dealing drugs, because they're not supposed to do it. Because boss, Uncle Sam, the government, you pay people to stop the drugs.
Right.
Some of them take drug money and let the drugs happen. Do they pay taxes on that drug money? No. So now the drugs are here and you've made $0. The drugs are here and it costs you money. He's not doing his job. He's a waste of tax dollars. So the drugs are here and you're already in the negative, right?
Right.
And now the drug dealers have drugs in every city and every state. And how many drug dealers pay taxes on the money they make selling drugs? None.
Yeah.
How many drug dealers do you have?
I mean, in some way they
Boss-
do. So
boss
some
man-
of them,
boss man?
some of them they take their money and put it in businesses, and then they create. You know what I'm saying?
And then they launder their dope money out of fake
Right,
business.
right.
That's a crime. You're not allowed to do that. That's illegal. You're just trying to make an excuse for not, you know what I mean? Oh, look, I got illegal business.
Right.
Listen, bro, I went to prison for trafficking cocaine. You told the stories. You've met people who knew me back then,
Right.
before I went to prison. And then, you know what I mean? I had that shit.
Yeah.
I had
You ain't paying taxes on that.
I didn't pay, and I had a business. I
Yeah.
ran that motherfucking business. You know what I'm saying? Clay County took so much money from me when I went to prison. They froze and seized everything. They took property and all kinds of shit. But anyway, drug dealers don't pay taxes. How many drug dealers you got in prison, boss, across this country, state and federal?
Ain't no telling.
Too many.
Yeah.
Let's go get one drug dealer from prison, just one, who didn't pay no taxes, boss. So you still ain't made a penny on any kind of dope. But open up your wallet, get that wallet out, because you got to spend thousands of tax dollars to catch the drug dealer. You got to spend thousands of tax dollars to house him in jail. You got to spend thousands of tax dollars for his court proceedings, and then you have to spend thousands more for his prison sentence, don't you?
Right.
And you have to multiply it by every drug dealer in prison. Add all that money up. Because I'm watching you spend this money, but where have you made some so far? Where have you made dope money from? How'd the government make money so far? You haven't.
Right.
And it gets worse because every drug dealer needs 5 drug addicts to stay in business. How do I sell cocaine if I don't got nobody to sell cocaine to? Right?
Right.
If I want to get high on cocaine and I go to rob you and you don't give me that wallet and I shoot you, I just terrorized you and your whole family, didn't I? Do I pay taxes for that mayhem I created for drugs?
No.
How many people are in prison for being drug addicts when robberies gone wrong? Murder.
Maybe 90% of
A whole lot of people are in there for that. Let's go get one who didn't pay any taxes for all that mayhem they created for drugs. But yet, you open up your wallet, get it out, boss. You ain't done. You got to spend thousands of tax dollars to catch the dope head, thousands of tax dollars to house him in jail, thousands of tax dollars for his court proceedings. And he don't even remember. I don't even remember shooting you. I was twacked out for 5 days. I don't even remember that shit. And then you got to spend thousands of tax dollars for my prison sentence. And then multiply that, times that by every drug addict in prison with a robbery gone wrong, and then add it to the drug dealers. How many people in prison for breaking in and stealing all your Christmas shit? If I break in and steal all your Christmas presents, aren't your kids scared that the bad man's coming back? Yeah, of course. What if you took care of your grandma and I pushed her down and she broke her hip? Y'all really gonna hate white people now, ain't you? Do I pay taxes for that shit, my man?
Who hate white people?
A lot of people.
Don't say y'all.
No. But you know what I mean, brother. You know what I mean. But do I pay taxes for the TV and Christmas presents?
Hell no.
No. Who breaks into your house and steals all your shit so they can pay their bills and feed their kids? I mean, let's be real. Nobody. Everyone.
There are some criminals that do criminal shit to provide.
We'll be generous.
Exactly.
And say 20%.
Exactly.
20%.
I know a lot of drug dealers, they take care of their whole family.
With the drugs.
Yeah, with the drug money.
Have you ever considered all the families that aren't being taken care of because of the drugs? I mean,
because of the drug users, yeah, correct. You're right.
Okay, and what about what about the drug dealers below him that he supplies that get killed all the time?
You're right.
Is it worth it?
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
What?
But you know what I always think?
I think that.
You know what I always believe? Everybody in this world got to be replaced, right?
No.
That's what I always believe. Like, I'm just telling you my belief. I believe that everybody in the world got to be replaced. You know what I'm saying?
That's a crazy belief.
To make the world go round.
Parrish, I love you, man. You know what's scary about what you just said?
Everybody got to be.
Everyone has to be replaced. That's coming from the oldest people on. You're one of the oldest people on earth. You know, black people are the oldest people on earth. I believe that. You know what I believe? I believe everyone comes from the womb of Africa. We've had long conversations about this.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm so open-hearted about everything. You know, and I'm so grateful that you have been a part of my life.
But I'm saying to make this current world. So we cut out everybody doing drugs, the drug dealers.
Well, hold on a second. If we can stop the drugs from coming into this country, then a lot of people would make a lot of better decisions.
Right.
Period. I mean, we've all seen family members, friends who get strung out on shit like, no, you can't come over here. We don't do that type of shit. Before you burn this bridge, you can come across it when you stop doing that crazy shit. Right?
Yeah.
And then we see when they do better, they get out of prison, they get out of rehab, and they get sober, and they do better. And then they bump into their old boyfriend or old girlfriend, and they get back into the old habits. And next thing you know, like, God damn, Jimmy, stop doing that shit, right? Well, what if we can make it where they can't relapse, and then everybody that we love dearly, that we can't come to grandma's house, they'd make better decisions.
And the way they can't relapse is you just take drugs away. Like,
boom. Because you know what?
So what about like medical, like for like
there is
pills like Percocets?
I think well, first and foremost, I say fuck big pharma. I say fuck corporate America. I stand with the people, and we got to figure out a way that we, the people, and our taxes can take care of us before we take care of anybody else.
Right.
We've got a lot of problems in this country amongst us Americans, and then we cannot be. How the fuck do we lead the world if we can't lead ourselves? So, you know, there's a lot of solutions, and I think getting rid of drugs, because, dude, you know what I found out since a couple months ago I started to look into? Did you know that annually we spend roughly anywhere between $400 and $600 billion a year on the entire judicial system, states, federals, probations, juveniles.
How much money they spend on like the border and keeping drugs away?
Well,
police,
it's hard to say. Well. For the last year, we've been finding billions of dollars of fraud all across this country. That has been set up by the people that ran the recent 4 years, the Biden administration.
Yeah.
The Biden administration have let so many illegals in this country and given them so much fucking money, there is no money for us. Just the tip of the iceberg in Minnesota alone for illegal immigrants and Somalian immigrants, $16 billion just in Minnesota alone. That's a lot of money.
For what?
Huh?
For what?
For fake daycare centers and fake insurance companies and fake medical shits. and fake, mostly fake learning centers. You can actually look, and it's right here in our faces. And,
I did see that online. And they have a building set up, but they go there, and there's nothing inside.
Nothing, but they're getting millions of dollars a year.
Yeah, you're right.
Doesn't that make you mad? That should be going to your children, to our schools.
I mean, it don't make me mad, but that's some crazy shit.
Oh, it makes me mad, and I'm not even a taxpayer.
Yeah, that's.
But I don't use the system. I don't get any insurance. I don't get no food stamps. I don't even apply.
Who you think is doing it the most though? Who you think is doing?
If you follow, listen. If you follow the signatures, follow the money. It's an easy investigation. Now I don't understand why there's not any arrests. All you gotta do is follow the fucking money. If we can see the money was placed here, there's obviously somebody who signed off on it.
Right.
Who the fuck is that? It's a pretty simple investigation, and then we would save billions of dollars that we could put into our fucking schools. What if I told you that I want to find as much money as possible and put it in our black schools and our black communities? That way we can attempt to make an equal playing field.
You know, I was just what we're watching right now. They were just talking earlier about how he was trying to get money to fund stuff like for his community and black people and schools and stuff like that, right?
Uh-huh.
He went and talked to some white higher ups, and the lady was like, "You want us to fund, you know what I'm saying, black schools and stuff in your community?" And they basically told him, "You got to go talk to the police about that. We give all the extra funding to the police."
You know what's weird about fundings for schools? Let's look at an elementary school, any random elementary school. That elementary school, most of its funding comes from the property taxes of that surrounding area.
That's crazy. So the government is not getting money from them. But what about those things where Trump was like, he cut out these funds for school, and so none of the money coming from the government?
Do you want taxes to go towards transgender fucking bullshit?
Hell no.
Well, then good. He did a good thing then. He didn't take things out of anything else. He's taking things out of that are potentially damaging us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, what about the fact that he's trying to take black history away from schools?
Nobody can show me where he said we're going to take black history from school. I would love to see that. I would love to. I've read a lot about it, but I get to reading what I see. You know, people start tagging stuff, and I go, and then it's always someone else talking about what someone else said about Trump. It's never what Trump says. I don't want to watch I'm not interested in what people are saying he said. Show me where he said this. I want to see what he said before I can make a conclusion. Now, you know, for everybody watching, I am not a Trump fan. I am not a Trump supporter. I believe he's got great ideas and piss poor presentation, and there's too much controversy for me to believe he's the guy. But you know what's really scary? When his 3 years is up, you know what we get after that?
What?
The same elite government officials who spent generations creating this entire system built on racism back in charge. Is that what you're looking forward to?
No, but
me either.
Who the fuck is gonna be running for president next?
Some career politician who's probably a millionaire on a tax-paid salary.
That dude that got his neck shot, he was gonna run for president.
You know what? He didn't get rich on a tax-paid
His
salary.
name Kirk, right?
Yeah, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
He made a lot of good points. You know what I'm saying? A lot of controversy around him, but it's awfully weird that the people that have everything negative to say about him are the exact same people who are supporting the same elite government officials who created this entire system built on racism. And no matter what, I see those people and I refuse to support them.
He was gonna run, right?
I don't know. I didn't follow him enough. You know what I mean?
I didn't hear much about him until he died.
Yeah, like I wouldn't let him put a finger in my butt or nothing like that. Some people might, but I'm not.
Oh man.
Yeah, but you know, I don't follow anybody to that point. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I get my information and I make my own conclusions, and you know, I try to get as much information as possible. I definitely always try to go to the source instead of someone who's talking about someone who's talking about what he said. You know what I mean? You ever play that telephone game where I say like the word like strawberries, and then by the time it gets 30 people down, we got a whole conversation about fixing a car or a flat tire or something like that. It's just weird, you know. So, you know, I like to go, when people say, you see what Trump said, well, show me what Trump said. Don't show me an article where someone's writing about what he said, because words get miscued and misunderstood. I like to hear what he says, you know. And that's what I go with, and that's what I try to do, to get my information on what and how I get my conclusions.
Right.
I mean, I was told a long time ago, why don't you follow the money? And I did. And that's how I know that the government makes zero money on drugs.
I can speak now from what I know. That's like how the school system is. Like I ask my kids about like certain known Black history people and like certain things in Black history. Like they don't even teach like they taught us in school when I was younger. Like they're not even teaching kids like Black history for.
Well, throughout American history, except for the very beginning, you know, when the Pilgrims first came here, we didn't really have a bunch of slaves then. That was a long time in the Pilgrims.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the Indians was here before the Pilgrims.
Absolutely. You know what happened before white people showed up? This group of Indians waged war and slaughtered this group of Indians 500 years before we showed up. Yeah, they might have been here peacefully. There was nobody other Indians coming and fucking with them. If they did, they slaughtered them. If we came and said, hey, these are some nice hunting grounds and fishing holes, holy shit. And then, you know, sometimes we were attacked, sometimes we attacked, you know what I mean? You know, it was probably scary times back then, you know? It wasn't just a one-way street for sure. It boiled to the point where it was like, all right, enough is enough. But anyway, we didn't do anything different than what they were doing to each other for these hunting grounds and fishing holes. If the only difference in what we did and what they were doing to each other is the color of our skin, and they keep pointing that shit out, doesn't that make them the fucking racist? God damn, we just like these hunting grounds and fishing holes, just like them before us. You ever heard of the Panawa Papapas? Of course not. They were annihilated long before we showed up and started writing shit down. You know what I mean? I mean, they can always try and take it back. It's always been an option. It's always, what if, and I'm just saying what if we did exactly what they did to their Indians every time they waged war for hundreds of years before we showed up? What if we slaughtered them from the face of existence? We wouldn't be having this talk about stolen land now, would we? Because they didn't have to argue about stolen land with the people they slaughtered to get it, did they?
No.
They were gone. But see, Jesus said that we're not supposed to do that. And we didn't. But what do we do now? How do we fix this now? I'm more concerned about the future of your children. Americans, right? That's all that matters. That's all that matters, my man. And I think finding as much money as possible, getting rid of as much government corruption as possible, it should be a number one fucking solution. Ending the war on drugs. Remember what I just told you, $400 to $600 billion a year annually on the judicial system. 80% of that's because of dope that comes across the border. 80% of everyone in prison is drug related, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we eliminate the war on drugs from the source of the problem, that means we just eliminated 80% of the entire judicial system, which means 80% less police on the streets, because there'll be 80% less crime, because 80% of everyone in prison is drug related. And just imagine, this is how the education system works. On average, I like my numbers to be low so I'm right. So when we actually do the number, it's staggering. On average, in every classroom across this country, on average, we got 20 students to every one teacher. That sounds about fair, right? I know it's more, but it's fair. Out of these 20 students, 5 kids are going to breeze through their academic career. 5 kids are going to have parents that put forth effort to make sure that their children have everything that they need to succeed.
Right.
And I know you're one of them. I know you are. I've seen school supplies in backpacks waiting for them to go. I've seen it. So, and then now we're going to have 10 kids, the last 10 kids, they're going to be going home to drug addicts and heroin dens and trap houses and grandma's house where mom can't come over because shit's going to come up missing. Dad's dead. You know what I mean? And then these kids genuinely don't give a shit. And then they're going to influence some of our good kids. This is why good kids, 13-year-olds from good homes, get pregnant. Because once they leave our door, they belong to society. And these 10 kids in their class are going to not give a shit. So now we have about 13 knuckleheads to 7 decent students, in every school, in every class. This makes sense, right? Now, we can't have the same 5th graders for 5 years in a row. So parents, we've been shrinking the curriculum over generations to get rid of these dumbasses by the masses to make room for the next dumbasses. So if all these parents and shit were to be, sober the fuck up and take care of your kids, that would be a huge help, wouldn't it? On top of 80% of $400 to $600 billion. Right back on, we end the war on drugs from the source of the problem, and then we immediately have roughly 80% of that much money that we can take half of that money and put it directly into our education system. Let's bring the top-notch college professors and educators and teachers from across this country and bring them to an elementary school level and develop a curriculum that is destined to succeed. That makes sense, right?
Make a lot of sense.
And I don't understand why we're not doing it, because remember, you're the government. You're not making a fucking dime off of dope. In fact, you're spending 80% of $400 to $600 billion a year. You're taking money out of your wallet and then paying for the fucking dope. And no one's giving you a damn dime. Boss man. That's because you've let these career politicians get rich on a tax-paid salary and run this fucking ship into the ground. There's a lot of good Americans, man. That don't mean we can't rebuild this shit and steer it in a better direction. It's a good system. It's built to work, and it could work.
So, as Americans, what do you think? Where do you think we start at?
First things
by voting these people out there.
All we have to do is look at them and say, hold on a second now. How on earth did you how did you get $149,000 a year salary, but you're worth $3 million? How did you get this much money a year annually, but you've got $16 million in the bank? Oh,
so you want to lock them people up?
They're obviously committing crimes. Hold on a second.
Let
me ask you something. What do you think we should do with the same elite government officials who spent generations creating this entire system built on racism? What do you think we ought to do for them? The people who built this shit. I think we should put some boots on and stomp a mud hole in their asses. Why look what they did to us, man. Look at this fucking country, dude.
You know what's crazy? How over there in foreign countries and shit, they don't have wars on drugs.
You got a Nigerian flag up. Do you see what Nigeria's doing right now? They're kicking a bunch of South Africans the fuck out. They're like, get the fuck out, go home.
They don't have war on drugs in different countries. So
well, they have different drugs too. They got a lot of natural. You know how they'll be. A lot of those countries, man, they that natural shit. They'll get the leaf shit and they'll just chew on some leaves of some crazy shit that we don't have here, and then geek the fuck out.
So don't you believe a majority of a lot of money spent is drug money?
Yeah, absolutely. $400 to $600 billion a year goes. 80% of that. 80% of the entire judicial system is because of drugs. 80% of the entire judicial system. 80% of everyone in prison is drug related. That's a lot of fucking money. If we can stop that shit and put that money back onto the table, it's already gone. We can immediately direct it somewhere else. Take half of that, put it directly into the education system, and then take the other half, split that in half, and start paying our national debt, and then put the other half directly into some economy somewhere. I know where we can put it. You know where I suggest we put it?
Yeah.
The black communities all across this fucking country. That's what we should do. You ever seen those videos where the black dude goes to the all-white neighborhood and he goes to the gas station? He's like, look at this shit. They got cases of Mountain Dew for sale. Look at this shit. They got cases of oil. Look by the pumps, the way over here by the pumps. Windshield washer fluid out here for sale. We can't have this shit in the hood. You ever seen the black dudes go to the stores like that? You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I done seen that shit myself.
Yeah. Well, when you go to fucking black community, why can't we do that shit? I live in Paxton, man. Why can't we do
I ain't
that
seen that shit in Jacksonville. I ain't seen that shit in Jacksonville.
Oh, that's because Jacksonville.
I seen that shit
Cat
in
Williams,
other countries.
Cat Williams is right. You go to any
Not in
other
Florida.
city. You go to any other city.
Not in
They give
Florida,
you a map
period.
and say, "Don't go here." Not in Jacksonville. You can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I seen that shit in different.
I blame a lot of that shit on generations of the war on drugs. Generations of these career politicians getting rich to let that shit in. If we ever catch them, they're going to get busted. They go to prison. This is why when we catch them, they go to prison, right?
They go to prison.
I say, let's figure, and it's easy to, all you got to do is follow the money. When it comes to all this fraud, follow the money. When it comes to, one major thing I'd like to know? What government official signed off on these Food Administration people to allow poison to be put in our food? Cancer-causing chemicals to be put in shit that could be cheaper to produce naturally. If you only got a couple of ingredients to make something, but then you take those ingredients and add a whole bunch of other crap to make the same thing, doesn't that whole bunch of crap cost money?
Yeah.
So you got to buy the raw materials and
it
the
might be cheaper though for them, so that's why they
well,
put bullshit in.
well, if you still need the same ingredients to make a noodle, like making noodles, you can make noodles out of a couple of simple ingredients, right?
Yeah, flour and water, right?
Yeah, and then you can, and so if you're gonna start adding all kinds of pesticides and chemicals into that shit, you gotta buy that. You gotta buy those chemicals.
The flour is made from anyway. That's gonna be chemicals
Wheat. I mean, you get natural process. I don't know. I'd like to know who thought it was a good idea to do that. I don't give a fuck about the cost. I don't give a fuck, because you know what happens? Because that gets people sick, and then people can't work and pay their insurance.
You know they
and then the insurance
iron in baby milk.
Dude, there's all
kind of crazy.
There's all kind of crazy shit, dude. There's all kind of You go get a magnet and then you do like this with the baby food powder.
Yeah.
Why would anybody think that was okay? And why is nobody questioning the people who signed off on that being okay? It all goes back to my same question. Why are so many Americans okay with giving black Americans freedoms and equalities away to non-Americans before we apply them to black Americans first? You know how you get put all over this license and registration?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. Till it's fair for you, there shouldn't be anything for anybody else. American, right? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on. I could talk to a million different people, and a million people are going to have a million concerns. But until we're able to talk about it like this, we're not going to be. Until we get enough people to stand up and talk about it like this, we're never going to get any results.
We better get a lot of people to stand up and put this shit in their face. You know what I'm saying,
bro?
This shit needs to be so. Like the government do got to take accountability of what the fuck they got going on.
And if they're not, it's up to us.
Somebody got to make this shit make sense.
Listen, there's entirely too many black military personnel. Just imagine if every black military personnel.
Everybody ain't got the heart. Everybody ain't got the heart, Kevin.
Nah,
even speak on it like
that's
you
because
speak on it.
That's because there's no inspiration. Dude, this is blowing up, man. Thank you everybody for all of the support, and continue to like and share my content and pass it out, because the more people see it, the more likely we are to get. Just imagine, look at the power when millions of black people went to Washington. Can you imagine being white in the White House looking out the window like, God damn, man, there's a whole lot of motherfuckers out there. God damn, what are we gonna do? I'd be scared. Imagine you go out
so
there.
You think some shit like that should happen again?
But imagine if we're out there with you. If every black military personnel stopped what they were doing, abandoned post, and went back to Washington for freedom and equality, wouldn't every white brother and sister in arms have to follow suit? I mean, they'd be racist if they didn't. For the Constitution to apply to black Americans.
Like, fuck it, I'm racist.
And then we'd be able to stomp a mud hole in their ass. Because, isn't that what I'm supposed to do as a white American? When I see some racist shit, I'm supposed to stop it. I mean, that's what my ancestors did when they fought and killed other white people.
Not if you're racist too, and I ain't
man.
brother.
I've hated you all these years, brother. That's the truth, man. God damn it, man. Nah, I think a lot of, I think everybody that knows me knows I'm not that racist motherfucker. I'll point shit out. I ain't as scared to speak my mind or stand up, you know what I mean? You've seen me a million times.
Trust me, I don't care what nobody say. They can't tell me you racist.
Yeah, fuck that. I love too much. You know what I mean? I'm too kind and courteous and giving. I'm a very giving fucking person. I worked my ass off doing tattoos. Tattoos changed my life. It changed my entire life. If it wasn't for tattoos, I would probably be in prison and dead right now. Because I went to prison for trafficking cocaine. You cannot be a white boy and traffic the shit out of some cocaine and 50, 60 pounds of reefer every week with other dope and shit like that and be okay. I mean, I've done some shit. I've gone through some shit. There's been some wild shit. But I'm glad I don't have to worry about that anymore. This tattoo gig, man, I got out and then I got out of prison and fell into some tattoo equipment and changed everything about me. The way I talk, the way I dress, the way I think, everything. The tattoos took such good care of me that I've got more than enough. It has taken such good care of me. Woo! I can't even explain how thankful and grateful I am for me being able to go through. You know what I mean? And
Right.
you know, it is everything I've ever done that has brought me to be in this fucking mask right now. But hey, this mask helps, man. I've gotten so much attention and so much shit, you know what I mean? And yeah, it gets hot under here. But
I think we're gonna start making a lot more videos. We're gonna start going to public with this shit.
well, you see, I'm going out, man. I got whole signs. Hey, everybody, I'm gonna
be with you.
Hey,
we're gonna go talk to some people.
I
thought you had some little mics.
No, it didn't work, man. It didn't work, so we're gonna roll like this. I did some tests before here, man. I don't got money for equipment and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to make money off of this. I'm trying to make a change. I'm doing good. I own my house. I own my truck. I own my bike. I just got me a little project fucking caddy. I'm about to stuff all these speakers in. I mean, life's good. I'm not worried about money. I don't, you know, if I start doing this shit and it takes up time and I notice that I'm doing less tattoos, I mean, I got to get paid somewhere eventually, you know what I mean? But if I can save this country billions, I think I'm entitled to a little bit, you know what I mean? And, you know, I might not be all the way with reparations, but I've got a few ideas about how we can kind of settle, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a big topic. Reparations is a big topic for a lot of people across this country, and I'm not with it all the way. But I am with the repair that's needed, and I am with figuring out how do we track down the people who owned, you know, who owned your ancestors.
You don't try to go to them meetings, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they call it.
I'm 45 years old and I've never been invited to a KKK meeting.
No, I ain't talking about
I ain't upset about that shit. Fuck those racists.
I ain't talking about a KKK meeting. I'm talking about like the city hall, you know, stuff like that. Like,
no, but I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's going to be soon where I'm going to need an entourage, you know what I mean? And I'm going to need people that love me, that you know, I know if you see some people, if I'm in a conversation and you see somebody, you know, approaching me violently, I know that you can intervene and shit like that, you know what I mean? I almost got in a fight holding a sign out on Edgewood and Commonwealth, man. Dude stopped right in the fucking turn lane and stuff like that and got out when he was mad. He didn't approach me. He did. He was a good distance away, but he looked at my sign, he read it and he was like, oh, fuck you. And he flicked me off, and he was a good, you know, he wasn't in my face, because, I mean, Paris, you know me, man, I'm not going to back down and shit like that. Yeah. And we've been to the gym together, and I'm a strong motherfucker. I can push some fucking, I'm a strong motherfucker, ain't I?
Yeah, you can push it.
Yeah, I'm a strong motherfucker. And I'm not afraid. I don't want no problems. I am not Billy Badass. I will hit you if you get too close talking shit. I will defend myself.
And I feel sorry for you if you have people with him, cause
yeah, because if I can fight,
that wouldn't be a smart move.
Yeah, if I can fight real good, and then if everyone I'm with can fight real good, and we're standing on a fucking positive message here. You know, we don't want no problems. We want nothing but love. We want change. There has been a lot of fuckery going on for generations, and you know, I'm identifying, I'm pointing that shit out. I'm being loud and proud and saying this is fucked up, this is what happened, this is who did it, and we're not gonna stand for that shit. And then when people say fuck Trump, Yeah, fuck Trump, but I don't want the same people who created this system in the first place to be back in charge either.
Yeah, the world's crazy, and it gotta get better. But you know me, I'm a strong believer. I believe in God, bro.
Well,
And I think we can't do nothing without a higher power.
I'm a firm believer, and you know my religious take. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a very firm believer that if you need, you know, God to be the best person that you can be every day, by all means, brother, be the very best you can be every single day. I don't care how or why. It's better than being the worst you. I would hate to see the worst you. That's scary. You're a strong motherfucker too. Yeah, but you know, it is crazy, it is weird, and there's got to be solutions. And then I think ending the war on drugs, man, just imagine if hoods all across this country didn't have dope flooding them, there'd be nothing to do but go to school and become doctors and lawyers and shit. What if we could produce a society where we weren't such materialistic people, where the government wasn't such greedy taxation people, where we can actually have time
So the
to
world
spend
would be,
it with our
you think the world
children?
can go perfect with everybody?
Nah, nothing's ever going to be perfect.
That's why I said. That's why I think you think everybody can be
I'll
doctors,
tell you
lawyers,
like,
police officers.
I'll tell you like this.
Business.
If our government put that dude J.D. Delaney in charge of killing pedophiles, and then that way we can give him a golden fucking wood chipper, I'd say a whole lot less people would be just openly touching children if the death penalty was involved in a lot of shit. People would be they'd be a whole lot less likely to kill somebody if they knew they were gonna die. I think we need
That's with anything in life though, even with drug dealers. That's just like I said in foreign countries is different. Because if I catch you selling drugs, I'm gonna kill you.
Some countries are a whole lot harsher than ours.
Yeah. So
Some crimes are just unforgivable.
If the death penalty or you just right there, you get put to death for your fuck up, then the world would be a better place. 100%.
I believe.
So
Remember, you believe in recycling. You know what I mean? You know that you ever seen that we're like the 7th set of human beings to ever walk this earth? There's people way before us. Types of peoples. We're like number 7. I don't know how true it is. You know, I just read a whole bunch of stuff, and it's interesting. You know my theory, though. You know, I mean, I like to follow the Anunnaki and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Space travel.
Yeah.
Above and beyond. That's another conversation. If you're into the Anunnaki, call it out, and we can have a conversation. We can go live and ask any kind of questions you want. You know what I'm saying? And we can get some shit going. And let's spread the word. Let's see what the fuck we can do. There's got to be a better way, brother. You know, there's entirely too much good, but when there's not a lot of options, or when it doesn't look like a lot of options, people don't believe in ending the war on drugs. But I'm like, well, fuck, since the government's not making any money, and the government's not really putting it in our communities, you know, because like I said, you know, let's go watch any dope house. Eventually they run out and they have to go get more, and then eventually. The black guy in a dope house always turns into a brown guy who speaks Spanish. You know, Pablo's always the plug. As soon as it turns into a brown guy who speaks Spanish, he's going to link up with 3 to 5 other brown guys who speak Spanish, and they're going to take 25 to 50% of Northeast Florida's drug money, and they're going to ship it to Texas, where a brown guy who speaks Spanish is going to catch it, and then hike it up underneath the border, and then he's going to lift that border up. A bunch of dope's going to come through, and he's going to ship it to Jacksonville, where a group of brown guys who speak Spanish are going to catch it, and they're going to distribute it all the way back down to our neighbor. And everyone's doing their best to avoid the government at all costs. Everyone's avoiding the government, and no one's paying the government taxes. So how's the government doing this shit if everyone's avoiding them? If everyone's dipping and dashing around you, boss man, how the fuck are you doing this shit? People who work for you, but they become waste of tax dollars. They're not doing their jobs. Fuck them. Fuck them. That's why we send them to prison when they get caught. Well, what if we treat the source of the problem like the terrorists that they are? Isn't it weird if you go to Guatemala, they don't have a safe place to raise their children because of the drugs and the violence associated with it, running rampant. So they come here for safety and asylum, right?
Right.
But everything they're running from, the drugs and the violence associated with it, it's coming to America. This is a destination. They're not running from their problems, they're running with their problems. It ain't safe to raise your children here. How the fuck can anyone come here for safety? It ain't safe to walk. Ladies, do you feel safe walking your dog at nighttime? Probably not. True stories. So, and everything that they're running from is coming here. So, fuck that. You know what I mean? If we treat these people like the terrorists that they are, let's treat them like Al Qaeda or ISIS. Except for they don't have a religion for what they're doing. And they fucking blow them off the face of the earth. We just ended the war on drugs from the source of the problem. And when it comes to who's running the drugs and manufacturing and producing, we know who's in charge, who's next, how they manufacture, shipping and handling. We know right when the human trafficking gets involved. If you don't know, boss, if you don't know, you can watch HBO, Cinemax, documentary station, Disney, Narco, and you can gather, you've been given the FBI, the CIA, and the ATF billions of dollars a year for generations to hang out with these people and gather this useless information that we cannot prosecute in a court of law. So let's give it to the U.S. military forces, declare war on terrorism, treat them like the terrorists that they are, and blow them off the face of the earth.
So where would the war be? You talking about war on our land?
No. There isn't any street level fentanyl being produced in America. That's being produced over the border in one of those other countries.
So you think it can't be created here?
It's not being created here.
It's not. But
it's not.
It can.
No. You know how hard it is with our mailing regulations to get the chemicals into America? That's why it's so easy in these other countries, because they have a whole lot less regulations when the people responsible for the drugs are fucking got their government scared shitless. I don't think there's a lot of people checking packages delivered to jungles and shit in Guatemala. Do you?
No.
Not when they're getting shipped from China. Not when it's got fucking Pablo written on that motherfucker. I mean, that's just how it works. You can watch HBO, Cinemax, Disney, Narco. They have documentaries about every single aspect of this. We know everything and can't prosecute in a court of law. So let's declare war on terrorism.
Just declare war on all them other countries?
No, that's not what I said.
On terrorism? So y'all just...
Check this out.
Just go blow up random places?
No. If we know exactly what's happening there, it's not just a random place in the jungle now, is it? Let's go talk to these other countries. El Presidente, do you have a massive drug problem running rampant through your country?
He's going to be like, yeah, I run it.
Okay, cool. Do you spend all of your funding paying the policia to fight this never-ending war on drugs?
No, we know we're sitting in this shit.
What are you talking about? Aren't your beautiful cultured people fleeing your beautiful cultured country because there's no safe place to raise your beautiful cultured children? Aren't your people coming to America for safety and asylum because, god damn it, there's nothing there for them except for murder and mayhem because of these individuals? You keep spending all of your money trying to fight, but they keep whipping your motherfucking ass. It's all over the news. Everyone's got cell phones everywhere. We see the shit.
So where do you think majority of the drugs coming from?
Oh man, all over south of the border. Every country's involved. Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Peru, Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, every beautiful cultured country below Mexico, including Mexico. We can't call them all Mexicans because then we're racist, and I don't want to be a racist. So we have to fucking call them out by names. All these beautiful cultured countries that are being overran with the cartels and shit like that, and gangs and shit. I was trying real hard not to say that word.
What?
Cartels, it's scary, bro. I'm talking about stopping their shit. It is scary, but fuck. What else can we do? I mean, we could really secure our fucking border and stop that shit. And then that shit will just be over there. Completely stop it. And then dry it up on our own. I say, when we catch somebody crossing the border, bullet, 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 bullet. Bullet, 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 bullet. What would happen? What would happen, man? Let me ask you something. What do you think would happen?
Crazy. That's no...
Paris, what do you think would happen if we went to Mexico illegally and got caught? What procedures would we be forced to go through?
They probably have us in a hot ass little prison box.
That's crazy for anyone else to come here and how crazy is it for them to come and demand something different?
Can't Americans just go to America?
Fuck no.
Yeah, like you could just cross over. Like you could just cross over the border.
Nope. Nope, you better have that passport, buddy.
No, is you going traveling? Is you traveling on the way? You need a passport if you flying, but you could just walk over the border.
Nope, I don't think so.
Yeah, you can. I'm telling you, you can.
I don't know how or why.
You could be driving too.
I know you can't
just
do
go.
that in Canada.
Yeah, I don't know about Canada.
I know for a fact.
But I
you
know
can't
in
go.
Mexico, if you could just drive through that motherfucker without.
I don't know. Well, maybe it should be different then. I know if we go to Mexico illegally and get caught, not supposed to be there, we can get in some trouble. I mean, if you swim to Germany, you're going to get in trouble. You get caught. Like, what the fuck? You're not even supposed to be here. The international laws. If you go fly anywhere, you know what I mean? You can't go into countries, you know, just like you can't, you know, if you don't have a passport. You really can't even leave anywhere. It's hard to leave places. You'd be stuck in an
Yeah, if
airport.
you don't got a passport, yeah.
Yeah, imagine you lose your shit in a bathroom, someone picks it up and walks away. You stuck in the
Yeah,
airport.
you could go to Cali. Like me, you could go to Cali, and then we can go to the border and just go into Mexico.
That's how they do it here. Yeah, we could definitely just walk on over that motherfucker. We could definitely do
I'm
that.
talking about go through border patrol. I mean, you could just walk over there, show them our ID, and you could just walk right over there.
What if we don't have an ID?
Yeah, I don't think you can go over there without
Ah.
identification.
You know, walking around without ID is illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I can't figure out?
What?
This voter ID thing. Because if a woman gets married, to change her name, she has to go to the Social Security office, which is a government agency that issues you your Social Security number, right?
Right.
She has to show the marriage license. They make a copy of it, so it's registered with the government now that this woman's changing her name. They give her a receipt, and then they're going to mail the brand new birth Social Security card with the new name on it. But you take that receipt, and then you go to the DMV, and then you also have to show the marriage license and that receipt. You don't got that receipt. You're right. So, well, that's step one. That's proof that you're doing it. They ain't gonna call nothing. And then they take that receipt, and then they also make a copy, and then they change the name on the ID. Now you're all the way registered. So every time my wife flashes that ID card, they know her maiden name, her mama's maiden name, before all of her husbands and shit like that, and everything. They know the grandparents. They can get all that information real quick because it's all registered through the system. How come Democrats are the only people that think black Democrat women are too stupid to know this? Because they're the only ones complaining. The only people complaining that women are too stupid to obtain to have this basic information. You don't need your marriage license. It's already recorded in the government system. By flashing your regular ID with your husband's name, they already know exactly who you are. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
So you said who complaining?
Democrats. They're saying that it's voter suppression. It's going to block millions of women from voting. But I don't understand how.
Because they got to go through extra steps to vote.
The weird part is those same steps apply. They don't have to go through any extra steps. All you have to do is show your driver's license. And if you were married, then the government already knows you're married and has your maiden name and everything else. When a cop pulls you over and they run that ID, whether you're a man or a woman, they know everything about you, don't they? If they wanted to, from that ID search, in a cop car, they could go back and probably find your school reports. You know what I mean? Shit's scary.
I don't think they can find your school report.
I don't know. All that shit, if you graduated high school, that shit's registered with the government that you're a high school fucking graduate. Did you know that? Was that 1028?
Yeah.
I have got to get going, my man. I appreciate you letting me come over and getting this. It's always lovely sitting down with you, my man. The agenda is solutions. It's always going to be solutions. We're not pointing fingers. We're not going to be blaming anybody except for the people responsible for creating this system. If you like this, something that me and him have been thinking about for a long time, we want to do a podcast, a little morning show, call it, Duval in the Morning. And nothing like the smell of gun smoke and animosity in the morning.
Yeah.
Welcome to Jacksonville. Yeah, if you like it, share it, man. Subscribe, support, Help us out. Share. The more you share, the more people see it, and the more we talk, the more solutions we can come up with. Because it's not fuck the government. Fuck the people who have been running the government for generations. Fuck the people who created this entire system built on racism. Let's follow the books and let's kick them in the ass. Bye, America. Talk to you later.